Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you've done it. You've battled through the exams, and now a whole new kind of challenge is waiting for you. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to pick the right guide to help you navigate this super complex world of NEET PG counseling. All right, let's jump right in.
You can finally take that deep breath you've been holding. The exam is done and dusted. But you know, that feeling of relief, it doesn't last long, does it? It's almost immediately replaced by this huge question, okay, what do I do now? Because this next phase, it's just as critical as all the studying you did.
And honestly, this next phase feels like you've been dropped into a maze. It's a total whirlwind of deadlines, bizarre rules, and life-changing choices. Every single decision feels monumental because, well, the stakes are incredibly high. It's totally normal to feel completely lost in all this complexity.
But don't you worry, we're going to give you a map for that maze. Today, we'll walk through why it's so confusing, talk about why a guide can be a lifesaver, learn exactly how to check if they're any good, see what a real plan looks like, and then wrap it all up with a simple checklist to make your final decision.
So, first things first. What actually makes this whole thing so ridiculously complicated? Well, the heart of the problem is that you're not just dealing with one system. Oh no, you're juggling several, and they're all running at the exact same time.
Yeah, you're basically trying to navigate two parallel universes at once. You've got the national MCC counseling for your All India Quota and central universities, and at the same time, you've got totally separate counseling happening for every single state. And here's the catch, they all have their own unique rules, their own fees, their own deadlines, and their own list of required documents. Trying to manage all that by yourself? It's a logistical nightmare, plain and simple.
And this, right here, is exactly why having an expert guide can be such a game changer. They're not just there to give you some friendly advice. They're providing a real strategic advantage by untangling these systems for you.
And the difference is just night and day. When you try to go it alone, it's so easy to miss a critical deadline, pick the wrong college out of panic, or even lose your backup seat options. But with an expert in your corner, you get a real multi-state strategy. You get accurate predictions based on your actual rank. And you get that end-to-end support to make sure not a single opportunity slips through the cracks.
Okay, so you're sold on getting some help. That's great, but how do you pick the right partner? How do you know who to trust? Well, we can break it down into a really clear 4-step process. This framework is going to help you spot the real experts in the crowd.
So here are the 4 steps. We've got the initial screening, the strategy session, the execution plan, and the big one, the transparency test. Just think of this as your personal cheat sheet for making a really smart choice.
First up, the initial screening. Now, a truly trustworthy service will not just take your money and run. No way. The first thing they'll do is a reality check. So, for example, let's say your rank is around 30,000 and you're dreaming of MD General Medicine in a top government college. A good guide will be straight with you. They'll tell you your actual chances and start talking about realistic alternatives, like DNB seats or maybe some affordable private options. Their first job is to set real, achievable expectations.
Step 2 is where the real strategy comes in. A great service digs deep. I mean, they're looking at your domicile, where you did your MBBS, your budget, all of it, to build a personalized, multi-state plan. And this is so important. They create backup options. Maybe you apply to Maharashtra, Karnataka, and UP in addition to the main MCC counseling. This is all about maximizing your chances and making sure you get a seat.
And that strategy, it turns into a concrete execution plan. Something that looks just like this. Example for a candidate with a rank of 20,000. Look, it's not just a random list of colleges. It's a prioritized plan with real reasons behind each choice. Check out the remarks column. Good patient load, strong academics, affordable backup. This is the level of detail you should be looking for.
And finally, step 4, transparency. Look, this one is a total non-negotiable. The service must use your email and your phone number for every single official registration. You have to stay in control and you have to be kept in the loop. They work for you, not the other way around. Always, always insist on giving your final consent before they lock in any major choices for you.
Okay, so let's fast forward. The plan is working, your strategy paid off, and you've been allotted a seat. Awesome, but the process isn't over. In fact, one of the most stressful decisions is still right around the corner. This is it, the moment of truth. You have a seat in hand, so what do? Do you take it and call it a day? Do you reject it and gamble on getting something better in the next round? Or do you accept it but still try for an upgrade? This decision alone can be absolutely paralyzing. And this is where a professional service really proves its worth. They take the raw emotion and guesswork right out of the equation. They'll dive into historical cutoff data to tell you what your real chances of an upgrade are. They'll walk you through the very real risks of giving up the seat you already have, and they'll constantly track what seats are available to adjust your strategy for the next round. It becomes a decision based on data, not just a gut feeling.
All right, to pull this all together, let's condense everything we've talked about into one final, super handy checklist you can use when you're making your final choice. So here it is. Ask yourself these questions. Does the service give you a realistic screening up front? Do they build a solid multi-state plan that includes backups? Is their advice backed by data? Are they totally transparent? And this is a big one. Do they offer that end-to-end support all the way until you're actually joining your residency? If you can confidently check off all these boxes, you've probably found yourself a fantastic partner.
At the end of the day, you've got to remember this one crucial thing. This whole process isn't about finding the cheapest service you can. It's about choosing a true strategic partner for one of the biggest moments in your career. It's a serious investment in your future, and believe me, choosing wisely now can set the entire stage for the rest of your professional life.